All right, Rex, let's get into some superlatives for the 2025 PGA Tour season. A couple of notes here. The majors are excluded. We're going to get into that in 2 weeks for our season-ending show. We're also skipping top player because the top player on the PGA Tour was Scotty Scheffler. You could quibble with best worldwide player. You could look, and I probably will, at best player for a different answer in a couple weeks' time. But look, Scotty Scheffler was the PGA Tour Player of the Year. He is going to be voted as such. 6 wins, 7th best season of the adjusted strokes gained era. Even better than 2024. He was that dude. So with that in mind, let's go a couple of different topics, a couple of different categories. Let's start with best newcomer on the PGA Tour. Who was it for you?
It's Ben Griffin, and I don't even know if that qualifies. I think I should
It doesn't.
have asked you exactly what qualifies as a best newcomer. However, he
Nope.
had not won before this season, and the reason I say that, and I go back to last fall, I've used this as a sort of example of what it means to get inside. We talked about that 51 to 60 category, and Ben did that last year. So he got into those first 2 signature events of this season, and he was really able to turn that into a career year. He ended up winning 3 times on the PGA Tour. I would argue he was one of 2 highlights for the U.S. team at the Ryder Cup, and I think he became a legitimate superstar, which he wasn't before this year, so he would be mine.
In what world is Ben Griffin a newcomer? A newcomer to like the world stage?
He was selling mortgages 3 years ago.
newcomer?
Again, I still love the idea that someone's sitting around being like, sweetie, did he sell us our mortgage?
I'm with you. I actually thought that I was cheating with my answer to this question. Then you went with Ben Griffin, which just completely blows my mind. But I'm going with Jackson Koivin, who is right now does not actually have a PGA Tour card in his hand. He is still competing in college. He is a junior at Auburn, but he has locked up a future PGA Tour card whenever he chooses to accept it through the PGA Tour's University Accelerated program. He has deferred it until at least after this season. But you look at what he did, Rex, in 7 official World Golf Ranking recognized events this year, 4 consecutive top 11s. He is such a good player already in the limited action that we have seen. And look, maybe things are going to be different when he actually joins the pay for play set. We've seen what happened with Luke Clanton. Remember 2024? Like Luke Clanton had a dominant summer as well. Everything was projected quite high for him. Similar run. I don't think Jackson Koivin is quite as much as a boom bust project as Luke Clanton is. Whenever Jackson Koivin joins the PGA Tour, he is instantly going to be among the very best putters on the PGA Tour. That club has never let him down. Look forward to seeing what Jackson Koivin can do in 2026. How about this one? After you just went with Ben Griffin for best newcomer, I can't wait to see where you go with biggest breakout, because I probably it could be Ben Griffin as well.
Could have been Ben Griffin, and I kind of toyed with the idea. I ended up going with J.J. Spaun just because of what he did at the Players' Championship, going head-to-head with Rory. And this was a guy, again, going back to last fall, didn't even know if he was going to keep playing. Didn't know if he was going to have a job this year. Didn't know if he was going to be able to keep being on the PGA Tour. Ends up at the Players' Championship. And loses to Rory on a Monday. But I think he proved a lot to himself. And then, of course, what happened at the U.S. Open and the Ryder Cup.
Like that one. I'll have J.J. Spaun later on in this segment. For me, the biggest breakout was Tommy Fleetwood. He is no longer just that like lovable loser character. Yes, this was a player who had won 7 times in Europe, but never in the United States. There always seemed to be, Rex, over the past decade, like a softness about him. You think back at what happened at the Travelers Championship. 2 bogeys on the last 3 holes, was nipped by the U.S. Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley. A couple weeks later in Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, some game management mistakes late. He had, entering the Tour Championship, 43 top 10s without a victory. That was so many more than any other player. It was absolutely mind-boggling. And yet, even in the face of all that adversity, even in the face of all of that disappointment, he was always poised. He was always accountable. He was always introspective. He was always thoughtful. He became, in my opinion, this summer, one of the most popular players in the world, full stop. And I think you saw that outpouring of emotion, not just from Tommy Fleetwood, but from the golf world at large with what he did at the Tour Championship. Followed it up a couple months later, winning in India on the DP World Tour, a really strong end to the year. Now all he gets in 2026, now that he's among the top 5 players in the world ranking, is a home game for that Open Championship at Royal Birkdale. Very good for Tommy Ladd.